HCAM TV.
Good evening and welcome to the Gathering in Quarantine. I'm Terry Malisi, and I want to say hi to Tom, who's filling in for Mike tonight. Hi, Tom.
Hi, Terry. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm looking forward to seeing what you cook up.
All right. Well, welcome, and I want to welcome all the viewers. And again, I hope all is well during this time. It seems like things are starting to open up a little more. So that's good. And while they are opening up, tonight we're traveling to Ireland. And what's on the menu tonight is Dublin Bay Prawn Cocktail, Marinated Rib Eye Steaks, Champ, and Tipsy Cake.
That sounds delicious.
I know, truly. So we're going to start putting the cake together. And what I have here is one angel cake broken up, a quarter cup of raspberry jam, 3 tablespoons of whiskey, 3/4 cup of sherry, 2 cups of vanilla pudding. And what we're going to do is we are going to put the cake in the bowl. And then we're going to take the jam and kind of spread it around. Now, you don't have to mix it all in. You're just going to spread it so that, every piece gets a little taste of it, right? So, and it smells great between the angel cake and the raspberry. Really nice. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add the sherry and the whiskey together. And as you can see, I'm using Jameson, and a little story about that in a little bit. But you want to mix this together. Now, here's the thing. This is a lot of alcohol, and we're not cooking it to burn it off. So I'm going to dare say this is a dessert for adults. Okay. And I want to get the pudding out of the way so you can see what I'm doing. I'm just drizzling the mixed whiskey and sherry all over the cake. And it does seem like it's a bit, but the cake is going to absorb it as it sits, waiting to be consumed. So we drizzle this on. Okay, that's that. And then I'm going to just give it a little mix. Okay. And you're supposed to pat it down, but I think the alcohol really does that. So you can see that, right?
Yes.
And then what we're going to do is we're going to take the pudding and we're going to layer the pudding right over it. Now, this might resemble a little bit of a trifle, which is also kind of a cakey-like dessert. But there you go, vanilla pudding on the top. And then what's going to happen is when we go to serve this, I'm going to top it with whipped cream. And I'll just spray it on there, and there you go. And that's how easy and fast this dessert is. Now, remember, you're in Ireland, and things are simple. Things are quick. Things are easy. And they're wholesome. And, they do like their little tipsy dishes. So I'm going to move this out of here. And then I'm going to move this over because this does not need to be refrigerated, okay? So I'm not going to.
So this is a cold type of dessert, right?
Sorry?
This is like a cooler type of dessert, like a cold dessert. It's not like something you bake.
Exactly. You're not baking it, so it can be room temperature, or you can throw it in the fridge and have it be a little chilled. But the whipped cream's in the fridge. And when we, by tonight's dessert time, we'll take the whipped cream out and we'll add that, and that'll be ready to go.
All right.
But a little bit about my trip to Ireland. It was about 5 years ago, and I stayed in a castle. And it wasn't like the medieval castles that you think about. It was called Finnstown Castle, and it looked like a big stone mansion. And it was just beautiful. They had peacocks roaming the grounds, and a lot of quaint rooms. The dining room was nice restaurant. There you go. It did have a little tower. We stayed near the tower. And it was just a beautiful, beautiful trip. And what struck me first about the country was how simple and wholesome things are. And I don't want to say backwoods, but it didn't seem like they were up to date with things. As we traveled around the area, and we stayed in and around Dublin, it just didn't seem like there were metropolitan areas. And it was beautiful. It was very green. And the people were so nice no matter where you went, no matter what you did. People were always so happy, smiling, and accommodating if you ever needed anything. So my first lunch, and I'll get to that later when we got to the castle, because it involved these two ingredients. But you already saw me use the Jameson in the cake. I'm going to move on to the
I'm guessing that's Guinness.
item I was going to cook. Yes. And this is Guinness Stout. Let me tell you, it is so thick over there that the head just stands right up the way you see it on those commercials over there. It's so true. I'm going to turn on my cast iron pan. I have two beautiful ribeye steaks, as you can see. And they've been marinating overnight in this beautiful marinade. Now, in this marinade, I have 1 cup. And what I did, I doubled it because we're going to want a little sauce when, this is all done.
It will throw up the ingredients here.
Yes, we have. I'm going to read the recipe. 1 cup of Guinness Stout, a half a cup of onion chopped, a half a cup of, a third cup of soy sauce. Boy, I really had that out there. 2 tablespoons of molasses, 1 teaspoon of dried rosemary, 1 tablespoon of garlic chopped, and a 1/4 teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce. Now, I marinated this overnight, and as you can see, this is the leftover, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to put these steaks in the cast iron pan and cook them 5 to 7 minutes on each side. And while that's happening, I'm going to throw the marinade into a saucepan and I'm going to bring it up to maybe medium to boil, and then I'm going to turn it down to simmer so that it can reduce by half. That's what we want. And that will be the sauce that we're going to put over the steak when the steaks are done. Now, after I put the steaks in the pan for about 14 minutes, they go into the oven at 400 degrees for about 10 minutes, or however you like your steaks done. So I am going to,
So what would 10 minutes make it? Medium rare?
yeah,
Okay.
it would make it medium. So I'm putting the marinade ingredients in the saucepan, and I have it on a little high heat until it starts up, and then I'll simmer it and let that go. I have my cast iron pan, and we're always talking about getting those overhead cameras so that you can see what I'm doing at the stove. But aren't those beautiful?
Those look fantastic.
Yeah, and you can see because they were marinating overnight, they have that dark color. That's from the Guinness. Okay.
That is a big ribeye, I must say.
Yeah, they're beautiful. And I don't know if you've ever had Guinness.
Yes.
Yes. So you know what I'm talking about. It's just it's wonderful. It's a different experience.
You got to have a Guinness on St. Patty's Day, no doubt. But I enjoy Guinness a lot. A lot of people don't like it. And then there's some people that don't like the darker beers and the more thick beers. But then they try Guinness and they say, wow, this really isn't that thick. This ain't too bad.
Exactly.
Because it looks a lot darker than it, looks thicker than it actually is.
Uh-huh. And quite delicious, correct?
Absolutely.
So you can see how this would work really well in a marinade with the soy sauce. I mean, molasses. Did I mention molasses? I think I did.
Yes.
There's molasses in this recipe. Garlic, Worcestershire sauce, soy sauce. Just wonderful. I don't know if you've seen the movie about Whitey Bulger.
I haven't seen that one yet.
Oh, you must. It's with Johnny Depp.
Yes, I've been meaning to watch that. I
Yes,
gotta check
you
that
must watch it. There's a scene where they're grilling steaks, and there was a marinade, and the marinade was a family secret, and the marinade was a little soy sauce and a little garlic. So the soy sauce really, really does something for the marinade. And my previous recipes, one of my favorite ones is Sam Adams with, you would marinate a flank steak with 2 Sam Adams, and then you fill up a Sam Adams bottle with soy sauce. That's it. Sam and soy sauce. You marinate it overnight. If you're really daring, you can do it 2 nights. But let me tell you, when you cook that, it's amazing. So the beer and the soy sauce, it really is a good mixture. I'm going to put these in.
I will be trying that.
Yeah, you must. It's really good. You'll be thanking me. Okay.
Nice sizzle.
So you can hear those steaks start to sizzle. I'm going to put my fan on. And I'm going to move this over here, get this out of the way. And I got some on my hands, so I am going to rinse my hands with some soap, because as you know, you have to keep your hands clean when you're touching meat. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little tin foil over and kind of tent the smoke up to my oven fan, because I don't want my smoke alarm going off, because it's been known to do that. So I'm going to say 5 minutes, and then we'll turn it, and then we'll get that going. I want to check on this sauce. Okay, this is, I'm going to turn this up a little bit. I'm going to bring that to a boil, and then I'll turn it down to simmer. And so who doesn't like steak, right?
Oh, absolutely.
I know. So you think of St. Patrick's Day, you think of corned beef and cabbage, you think of bangers and mash. which is really big in Ireland and England, which I've been quite a few times. But they love their meats too. They love their lamb. They love their beef. And when you're over there and you're driving through the countryside, it's amazing how green these fields are. And you can see how the animals just graze and graze and graze. And they're, I don't know, from what I saw, they were out there. They were out in the open fields grazing, you know. Now, I'm sure there are, you know, cattle farms and whatever that are more similar to what we have over here. But it is very different, and it's quite wholesome. It's a different experience, I have to say.
I haven't been to Ireland yet. It's certainly on my bucket list, but I've heard it's very green over there.
It is. It is. The person I went with, Ian, and he's been in a couple of my shows. I went with him, and he is a private pilot. So we rented a plane, and he took me flying over Dublin, and we flew over the Guinness Castle, what they call their summer cottage. And you can't see it from the road. You have to be in the air to see this home. It is amazing. I have to say.
Now, is that where the brewery is?
No, this is just their summer cottage.
Okay. Did you go to the brewery when you were there?
No, we didn't. We did not do that. Maybe the next time, because I could see myself going back there. So what we have here is called Champ. And this is mashed potatoes with scallions and butter. But how they do it is really different. So I have almost 2 pounds of potatoes here, cooked, ready to be mashed. I have, and again, because I've got more potatoes, I double the recipe, but I'm going to read what the recipe calls for: a half a cup of milk, 4 scallions sliced, salt and pepper, and 4 large pats of butter. So what we do here is we take the milk. Oh, now see, this is boiling. This is good. So I'm going to turn that down. I'm going to turn on the back burner, put the milk in here, and we're going to get that milk warmed up. And what we're going to do is we're going to put the scallions in the milk, and the scallions are going to flavor the milk. And the milk is what we're going to use to beat the potatoes. So we're going to put those scallions in. We're going to let those cook. And again, here you have a masher. You hand mash these potatoes. You don't do it with an electric beater. And again, it's like wholesome.
Why is that?
It's wholesome. It's just, that's how they do it.
So I'm guessing it would be a little thicker than if you use the beater. It's amazing. You know, you go to the different pubs over there, and they're like these big houses with these big sofas and armchairs and tables and different rooms. And, you know, they start serving food around noontime. You can go in there early, but you can only get drinks. Then the food comes out around noontime. And then, you know, it's your basic menu, but it's also good, you know? Oh, sure.
And again, the people just so friendly and wonderful. And it was nice because no matter where we went, there weren't many people around. you know. Oh, I think I need to turn these. Let me turn these steaks. Oh, that's beautiful. Okay. Now, these are, I'm going to let that go for maybe 3 minutes because I went a little beyond the 5. But that's okay because the longer you leave it in the pan, the crustier the outside's going to be. And then when we put it in the stove to finish it off, then that's how the juices get sealed in and you've got that nice crust on the outside, but still nice and light on the inside.
Now, from what I heard, the pubs in Ireland have the most amazing food.
I'm sorry?
From what I've heard, the pubs in Ireland, they have just tremendous food.
Yeah.
The small little pubs.
Yep. Yep. That's what I remember. One of my favorite things over there in Ireland and England is black pudding.
Oh.
I don't know if you know what that is.
I do not.
Okay, it's like a blood sausage. It's made of different innards and the blood of the animal. And they'll have it on your typical English breakfast. And they serve it over there in Ireland too. Blood sausage. It's just beautiful. It's really good. I was amazed. And you can find it over here. And I've bought it and I have, oh, that's beautiful. I'm going to turn this off. I'm going to bring this over just to show you because before I put it in the oven. Now, look at that.
That looks tremendous. Well, I'm hungry.
You've got that nice dark crust there. I'm going to put this in the oven. Now, this is at 400. In fact, you know what? I'm going to turn it down. I'm going to turn it down to actually 300 because I'm going to let it sit in there for a bit because it's only 25 past, okay? Now, we've got the sauce going. That's moving right along. Turn it up a little bit. And the milk is just about where we want it. So I'm going to turn that off. And I'll show you what we're going to do with this, okay? So we're going to take our milk that's been flavored with the scallions, and we're going to strain the milk. Then what we're going to do is we're going to put some, now Mike knows I don't really cook with salt and pepper, but this is a dish you really need your salt and pepper. Mashed potatoes, right?
Absolutely.
You need it. You do. So you want to give it a good couple of swipes there. And then you're going to add your scallions. Okay. Then what we're going to do, I want to get each and every one of them. We are going to mash these. Okay. And so we're just going to mash along. We're going to incorporate the scallions with the potatoes. Now, I made these potatoes earlier, but if they come right out of the boiling water, that's fine too. But you can see it definitely is different with the hand masher. Now you're going to take a little bit of the milk And
you
you're
get a
just
nice
going to...
little workout with the hand masher.
That's right. That's right. And the milk is going to make it a little creamier. Okay. And of course, the milk is flavored with the scallions.
Now, did you skin the potatoes before?
I did. I peeled them and I boiled them. Peeled them, cut them, and boil them.
Yeah, because some dishes, they don't peel them and they have the skin.
That's right. And those are called smashed potatoes.
Oh,
and
okay.
particularly with red potatoes. And those are pretty good. So I'm going to add a little more milk. Okay. Oh, and this smells really good.
I could imagine.
Now, you know, you can picture yourself being over there and, you know, not having all the handy things you would have in a modern house. And I say that because when you're over there and you're driving through the country, you see a lot of older homes and simple things, very simple. But I think some of the simpler things are the best, right?
Oh, absolutely. They seem like they're a very laid back country.
Absolutely. This, I think, is at a good consistency. So I'm going to put this aside. And how I'm going to plate this is interesting, because you might think that's all there is. But there's more. I'm just going to stir this. Keep that sauce going. Okay. So basically what we're going to do, and I want to, I'll use this. We want to make a mound. Okay. So you're going to make a mound of these potatoes. Now you could do it on the same dish or a separate dish. But you see, because we love mashed potatoes, I made extra so that we can enjoy these after the show. Now, you see this, right? Yes. Then what you want to do, you want to take a spoon and you want to make like a little well in the middle of the potatoes. And this is how they eat it over there. Okay, so you make...
If I had a guess, I'm assuming that's where the marinade goes?
No. Good guess, though. It's where the melted butter goes.
Ah, okay.
So you pour it in there, and you want to make it so that it kind of stays in there, but it does drizzle out, right? And how you eat it is that you take some potato and dip it in the butter. Oh. That's how you eat it. So they're like not just really eating it, they're savoring every bite.
It's almost like a lobster.
Sorry?
It's almost like a lobster. Dip it in the butter.
I know, exactly. So I'm going to put this over here, get this out of the way. I'm going to stir the sauce, which is, it is rendering down. And I'm even going to turn this way down to warm, because those steaks are beautiful. And I'm going to put this over here. So Ireland. What do you think of the Celtics, right?
Right. Yeah.
And what's not to love about the Celtics?
Absolutely. That and Irish step dancing, of course.
Absolutely. Right. Irish soda bread.
Yes.
Which is just wonderful and so easy to make. Now, as the viewers know, I'm not a baker. I will bake, and most of my desserts, except my cheesecake, comes out really ugly, but they're good. They're delicious, right? But that's what I like about the Irish soda bread. It's very simple and delicious, and that always comes out looking good because you mold that like a piece of bread, cut the cross in, and it bakes up wonderful. So that's pretty good. Okay, this is still rendering down. There we go.
Yeah, I mean, typically my St. Patty's Day meal, corned beef and cabbage, some soda bread, potato, of course, baked potato, baked carrots.
Perfect.
Typical Irish St. Patty's Day meal.
That's right. That's right. And no matter where you go in this country, you're going to find that. And it's a shame that, you know, people don't eat it more often. I mean, you can go to the Irish pubs and it's always on the menu, but it shouldn't take St. Patty's Day for you to have a good corned beef dinner.
Right.
My mother used to make those boiled dinners all the time, and we love them.
Yeah, and it's actually pretty good for you, especially the cabbage.
Yes, absolutely. And then there's stuffed cabbage, right? So who doesn't love that? But getting back to the alcohol, when we first showed up at the castle, so this was the first thing we ordered. This was for me, and I love my, God forgive me, I say it because it's true. I love my, when I drink hard liquor, I like it neat. I don't like anything in it. Just give it to me as it is. So that's that. Now, the Guinness, I will, look at that. Can you see that? I don't know if you can see it. It just kind of like this puff of smoke just came out.
Yes.
I'll do this right here. I'll do it again. See it?
Yes, I did.
All right. So I'm sure that's going to get drunk tonight too. So I don't feel bad about doing that. And I don't know if you know about this, but I don't know if I want to do it.
You got to pour to the side.
You tell me, Tom, do I do it or not? Do I just pour it for the thick head? Because it is a stout, right?
Right. You got to lean the glass.
Yeah, but do I want to do that? Do I want the thick stout?
It depends. Some people like it.
I know, but that's how you get it over there. It's like this. So I think we ought to do it, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. So we're going to see how far that goes. Now, while we're doing that, okay, I'll get another glass. And I'll pour this one. And I'll see about doing it how we do it, right? And this is how you keep the head down, right?
Yes.
Yes. I mean, I don't want to profess to be an alky over here, but there are a few tricks that you do, you know, gather when you get to be my age. That's one of them. But look at that. Look at that head. And I just want to, like, if I can show you how thick, look how thick that is. It's like whipped cream. Yikes.
Is your dessert.
It's so good. Yes, that's right. So our first, we got to the castle, we settled in, we went right down to the restaurant, sat at the bar, and this was the lunch. Well, how it started anyway. And that was my first tweet. It was like perfect Irish lunch. Now, of course, we didn't just drink over there, but
Right.
let's face it, they are known, right? I mean, they're known.
Absolutely. They
Right.
love their whiskey. They love their Guinness.
They love their alcohol.
Right.
I gotta tell you, Ireland and England, no matter where you go, they love their alcohol and they love their football, which is soccer, which is what Ian was. He was a professional soccer player. He played for Manchester City, and we lived together for 5 years before he moved back there. So he gave me an education on what they call football over there, and cricket too. Cricket's very big.
Cricket's big.
Yeah, but that's all for a couple of more shows down the road. So we have that still going, still rendering down. I am going to do the next dish, which is the Dublin Bay prawn cocktail. Now, we all know that Ireland's an island. So there's, it's surrounded by water and they have a lot of seafood. And, I thought about doing a fish dish, but then I said, no, I'm not doing it. I'm going to do those rib eyes marinating in the Guinness. So we'll have plenty of seafood dishes down the road. And we have, but this is a beautiful dish here. And what we have here is we have torn lettuce, and we have shrimp. Now, I have about a pound of shrimp here. I have 2 tablespoons of dried parsley, and I have lemon wedges.
And for those that don't know, I know they call essentially shrimp is prawns over there.
Yes, exactly. And that's the name of the dish. It's Dublin Bay prawn cocktail. You're absolutely right. And what we have for our cocktail sauce, we have 2 tablespoons of tomato paste, 1 teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce, 2 teaspoons of lemon juice, 4 teaspoons of sherry. There you go with the alcohol again. 4 tablespoons of mayonnaise, and surprisingly enough, 2 tablespoons of whipped cream. And you can ask what that is for, but that is basically, I'm sure, to keep things nice and light and fluffy with that cocktail sauce. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our lettuce, and you see how I have the plate made? I have the little cocktail dish in the middle of the plate. I'm going to push these things aside so you can see, and you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so I am now going to take the lettuce, and I'm going to surround the cocktail dish with the lettuce. Okay, because this is, again, it's your salad, but it's somewhat of an appetizer. Okay. And don't be afraid if you're using not all of it, because you can snack on it later, whatever is left over. Okay, I'm going to put this off to the side over here. Okay. And then what we're going to do is take our shrimp. First, I want to take a sip. Here's to HCAM. Mm. Ooh, and Ireland. Woo! Boy, I'll tell you, that is beautiful. That really is. I don't drink it often, but when I do, I really enjoy it. It's also good in coffee. And then
oh yeah, nice Irish coffee.
Exactly. So I'm going to take what I have 16 good sized shrimp. And I'm going to put 8 pieces on each plate. 2, 4, 6, and then 8. And you want to space them out pretty good. Yep. And then I'll do it again over here. Now this could be a meal in itself. This could be a nice, beautiful light lunch, right?
Absolutely.
Yep. Nice and light, healthy, beautiful. Okay, let me get rid of this.
I think I could easily eat one of those plates myself.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Of course you could. And then we're going to take, first, before we take the lemon, we're going to take some parsley and drizzle that over the shrimp. Okay, so that when you pick up the shrimp, you're going to have a little parsley on it. And that'll just give it a little extra flavor. But you'll see with the ingredients of the cocktail sauce, you're not going to need much flavor of anything else. Now, I'm going to place 4 lemon slices on each plate in between the shrimp. So that, now I don't know about you, and I like cocktail sauce, but the older I'm getting, it's like, give me lemon. My oysters, my shrimp, my raw clams, give me lemon, right? And to me, and I know I shouldn't be doing this because I'm making a cocktail sauce, but I love seafood with just lemon because it's so simple and you're not messing with the flavor of the fish, right? So now how pretty is that, right?
Wonderful.
So that's just the salad. Now we're going to put this together. And this is very interesting. This is not your typical cocktail sauce, which is usually just ketchup and, now think about that, ketchup and horseradish, right? Usually that's all what's in cocktail sauce. But look at these ingredients. We have tomato paste. We have Worcestershire sauce. We have lemon juice. We have sherry. Again, the alcohol. We have the mayonnaise. I'm going to go ahead and mix that in. And then we have the whipped cream. And the whipped cream is to make things nice and light. And you're going to mix this up. And again, it's very different, right? And I'm doing it with the spoon because I'm over there in Ireland and I'm in a kitchen without too many utensils. I don't have much to work with except for the beautiful ingredients of the food, right? And it kind of brings you back to the Pilgrim days, right? What did they do at Sturbridge Village, Plymouth? What did they do back then? What did the Indians do? Well, I know we had a show last fall about a Native American dinner. Now, here you have it. So it is soupy. It's not thick. It's not thick like what we have, right? But it's that sauce. And you're going to dip the shrimp in this sauce, which is just out of this world with these flavors. And it kind of matches the color of the shrimp. I mean, if you were thinking to be color coordinated, it's perfect. I don't know. Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of people look at that and be like, isn't cocktail sauce supposed to be red? But that seems like an amazing combination right there.
It is. And that's the difference. It's not just cocktail sauce. So I'm just going to give it a taste. Whoa. Really nice. Really, really nice. Wow. Although I knew that, right? So there is your Dublin Bay prawn cocktail. Now, it wouldn't be unusual to be out shopping or sightseeing, and the sights are beautiful, not only in the country, but by the ocean too. We would drive and we would come across these ocean towns where people vacation, and you'd see these cliffs, these big, beautiful cliffs. And out of nowhere, you'd see this big, huge cross on top of the cliff, just out of nowhere, you know? And what do you think of, honestly, when you think of Ireland, right? You think of the Troubles, Northern and Southern Ireland, right?
Right. Yep.
Right. And it's all about religion, and it's all about the rule of England and how they want to be autonomous and how they want to break free from England. It's really amazing. In high school, I never was into history until I got to college. And then, of course, I started traveling the world. And the history there, it's heartbreaking, because when you think of how these people are born and raised on either side, and they're fighting because of religion. Now, of course, that happens throughout the world. But when you're there, and of course, I was only in the Dublin area, it kind of makes you want to venture out. But you do have to think about how safe is it, you know, when you're crossing those borders, like wherever you are in the Middle East. It's a slippery slope. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. I am going to right now.
Now, were you just in the Dublin area, or did you go outside Dublin at all?
We did go outside of Dublin. We stayed outside of Dublin, but you know, I mean, it's the country, right?
Right.
And it's huge. I mean, not all that huge. I mean, let's face it, it is an island, but
all that farmland makes it look huge.
Yes, that's right. That's right. I am going to, I'm taking this out. And
those look great.
I know, don't they? I don't know if you can see it. I'm going to plate them. I'm going to turn off the stove. This sauce came out pretty nice. I'm going to put these on the plate over here. And this is like akin to prime rib roasted. I mean, when you look at this, and what do I want to do? I'll tell you what I want to do. I want to take this and put this in with the pan juices, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is just a thought, but you can't let this juice, any of it, just go to waste.
Got to utilize all the flavor.
Yeah, exactly. And it smells amazing. And you can see it. I don't know if you can see. See, we need that close-up camera again, right? So I am going to push this pan. Ooh, and that is hot. I have to be careful. I'm going to push this off to the side. Okay. Because I will utilize that, no doubt. And then this cute little cake I'm going to put right by the alcohol. But here you have your marinated rib eye steaks. You've got your champ. You've got your Dublin Bay prawn cocktail, and you've got your Tipsy Cake. I'm going to move. Now, see what happened? So the head did dissipate. So there you go. But I have to say, when you're over there, right out of the tap, it comes like this, and they don't let it sit. They drink it.
Right.
Right. So I am going to toast HCAM again. Oh, which is beautiful. And so there you have it. Now, how quick was this?
That was quick. About 45, 50 minutes or so.
Yeah. Now, granted, the potatoes were cooked before and the steaks were marinated overnight, but how simple is that to do, right?
Absolutely. And that is a fantastic looking Irish feast.
It is, and not typical. And I think that's what I like, because you will find those typical dishes over there, but it's very different. You know, you find food like this.
Do you have a favorite dish that you tried when you were there?
A favorite dish? Oh, you know, no, because, and I hate to say that, because I love it all. I mean, I do. No matter where I go, I look at the menu and, you know, I know what I like, but, and especially if you're going to be there a while, you have time to try different things, right?
Right.
So no, I didn't have a favorite. I truly loved it all. And I do have to say, I don't know if you noticed my cross, and that's a little, even though I got this in Hawaii, that's for another show. It's my birthstone, which is peridot, which is green. It's not emerald green, but it's green. So that's why I chose to wear that. And plus, you know, the cross, because of the differences in Ireland between the Catholics and the Protestants. It's all very interesting, and a different way of life over there. And, you know, you can see why people want to go and stay, because it's peaceful. No matter, you know, all that aside, if you're, and I'm sure, you know, it's this way in the north too. It's simple, it's wonderful, it's wholesome. And you know, people sometimes want to get away from this, from how we live day to day.
Right. It seems like a more relaxed pace of life over there.
It is. It is. And you just savor all of it. I mean, you do. No matter where you go, what you do, it's just beautiful. It really is. I was into, it's so funny, I'll go through my different things, but my last trip in Italy and Ireland, I was into photographing doors. So I photographed a lot of doors.
They have some old doors over there.
I know, no kidding. And in Ireland, particularly, benches. They have benches, and beautiful benches, no matter where you go. So it's like, you know, they're ready for you to come and sit down and just enjoy the atmosphere, enjoy the salt air, no matter where you are. The garden, it's, you know, you're smelling the flowers. So a lot of park benches and doors.
Did you go to any of the beaches while you were there?
Yes, I did.
How were they?
Just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. You know, you've got your beaches, you've got your cliffs. But you know, no matter where you go, right? Isn't the ocean beautiful?
Oh, absolutely.
No matter where you go. I mean, to me, it's paradise. I mean, I grew up in and around Chelsea, and we always had the beach. We always had the sea was right there, the Atlantic Ocean. We were always in Revere, Nahant, East Boston. I know you don't think of going to the beach in those places, but that's what we did when we were growing up. And we moved to Holliston when I was 13. So I really had that city instilled in me. And we spent a lot of time at the ocean. And, you know, and when we weren't at those places, we were vacationing down Cape Cod. You know, when we weren't at camp for most of the summer up in New Hampshire, my parents would rent a house on the water in Dennisport for like the last 2 weeks of the summer. So we would, they would literally, I didn't get this until I became a parent, but they got rid of us for the summers, right? They sent us to overnight camp up in New Hampshire. They would come and they would come and visit.
So they could go enjoy the beaches and
yeah. And you know, it was always like, oh, it's just this wonderful thing. The city kid gets to spend the summer at overnight camp in New Hampshire, Trinity Camp. But it was like, but then, and you know, and then we did the family vacation thing in Dennisport. But it was like, well, what are they doing? They were getting rid of us so they could have adult time. And, you know, they were great parents. So, you know, no disparaging there. But I didn't get it until I became a parent. And my daughter started going to, you know, overnight camp down the down the Cape with the Girl Scouts. And I was like, oh, I get it now. Now I get to play.
Every parent needs a break.
Yeah, truly. And of course, you know, we had the house on the vineyard too. So so we had a lot of and that as a married person,
Yes.
for me. So, you know, the ocean, no matter where you are, it's just a wonderful, beautiful thing.
Absolutely. Well, the meal looks fantastic, and it was certainly fun tonight, but I think we got to wrap up.
All right. Well, doesn't time fly when you're having fun?
It certainly does.
Oh, Tom, what a pleasure. You can
Absolutely.
fill in for Mike anytime.
Thanks for showing me how to make this delicious meal. I'm certainly going to try it.
Sounds good. And here's to HCAM, here's to all the viewers, and stay well until our next show, which is going to be somewhere across the pond, if that gives you a little idea.
All right.
All right.